And the Cincinnati Ball Club. Put your best hat on or just make sure your hair is done. The Astros and Reds are next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the Astros open a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. The Astros, having swept the Pirates, now move along to another Central Division foe. Reds are 8-11, JD. The Astros 8-10.
Yeah, Astros playing great baseball, winners of 7 of their last 8. Conversely, the Reds scuffling a little bit. They've only won 3 times in their last 11 ball games, but the last 10 times these two teams have matched up, the Reds have won 9 of them.
Now our key matchup, and as we take a look at things tonight, there are many different ways we could go. It's brought to you by the 2011 Jaguar XJ. Here's the matchup we chose, Berkman and Votto.
And why not? Just 2 great hitters, the first baseman for both clubs. Joey Votto has really enjoyed Minute Maid Park, 349 average here, 571 slugging percentage. Berkman, he just loves it when the Reds are in town, almost as much as he likes to go to Cincinnati. He's put up huge numbers against Cincinnati in his career, and he's got good numbers against tonight's starter, Aaron Harang.
Let's take a look at tonight's starters. It'll be Bud Norris for the Astros. He's been a big strikeout machine in the first few starts of the season. His mound opponent is a slumping big right-hander, Aaron Harang, in the matchup that begins in just a moment. Houston is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150. By Jack in the Box. By the Progressive Insurance Group. And by Southwest Airlines. It's another gorgeous evening here at Minute Maid Park. A string of beautiful weather continues here throughout this homestand. And the Astros have cashed in. They are 5-1 on this homestand. They've won 3 series in a row. Here's Dusty Baker's starting lineup as the Reds come in. 3-3 off their homestand, starting a road trip with Drew Stubbs in center field. Then it's Brandon Phillips elevated to the number 2 spot tonight at second base. Joey Votto plays first base, batting third. The cleanup man tonight is Scott Rowland at third base, with Jay Bruce in right field, Orlando Cabrera at shortstop, Johnny Gomes in left field, Ryan Hattigan the catcher, Aaron Harang the pitcher.
Our Suzuki starting pitcher is that fellow right there, Bud Norris. This is his first career start against the Cincinnati Reds. He was tough on lefties last year in his big league time, and he has been so far this year as well. They're hitting just a .67 against him. He's not yet allowed a home run.
And he was the man who broke the Astros' losing streak to open the season. They were 0-8 when he took them out against the St. Louis Cardinals. And he led them through the wilderness that day. Drew Stubbs at 158 with 1 homer, 6 runs batted in, gets it started. And he takes strike 1. Bill Miller's calling the balls and strikes tonight. Stubbs has a .273 on base average. Reds have been offensively challenged this year.
Yeah, Stubbs has been striking out a bunch.
He has hit a grand slam, but the Reds are looking for a consistent threat at the top of the order. And there's a strike for 1 and 2 count. Stubbs has had 57 at bats. 21 of them have resulted in strikeouts. He took over last year as the starting center fielder, and the riding pitch strikes him out. 1 out.
Wow. Talk about carving a guy up. You got the borderline call down and away in the previous pitch, and then climbed the ladder with a 4-seamer with 2 strikes. The hitter inclined to be a little more aggressive. No chance to catch up to that one. Had he hit it to the outfield, the 3 options would have been Leaborn and Pence. The infield is covered by Blum, Manzella, Keppinger, and Berkman. J.R. Tolles does the catching.
Brandon Phillips usually resides in more of a power spot in the order, but Rusty Baker's trying him in the number 2 hole tonight. He looks at ball 1. Checking in at 219 with 2 homers, 9 runs batted in. Phillips, one of the consistent threats in this lineup. He's played every inning of all 19 games leading up to this one. And also brings speed to the table. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, Phillips not off to a real good start here in 2010, but he's a dangerous hitter, and he's a kind of guy who really thrives in this situation. If he can sit fastball, and he probably is here, 2 balls and no strikes, you got to be careful.
He lets it rip and fouls it.
Just late. That's the beauty of having a 94-mile-an-hour fastball and coming out of that bullpen ready.
86 pitches last time for Bud.
Some guys have a tough time in the first inning, reaching max velocity. That's not the case for Bud here tonight.
That's rocked to center field. Michael Bourne back in front of Taos Hill. 2 outs.
If there's any height under it at all, if it's not on the hill, it's going to be caught. That's kind of that's the line of demarcation for Michael Bourne out there. If it's in front of the hill, he's going to get it most of the time, unless it's on a line. And by golly, if you hit a 400-foot line drive, you deserve to have an extra base hit.
Yeah, this could be a very frustrating place with a combination of the dimensions, and Bourne staring a hitter in the face. And there's ball 1 to Joey Votto. Votto, a .288 hitter with 3 homers, has 9 runs batted in. He's hitting .321 his last 8 games with 2 homers, 7 runs driven in. Got a beautiful swing. They crowd him with that pitch, and he fouls it off, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the Canadian-born Votto. Oh, he's in a groove. He can really put up some nice numbers. This Reds club is 8th in runs scored in the National League. Fastball is fouled away, and it's a 1-2 count for Bud Norris, who had a no-hitter through 4 last time out against Florida. The Astros won the game 5-4. He got a no decision, giving up 3 earned runs in 5 innings, throwing 86 pitches, as you may have noticed in those 5 innings. So he's 1-1 for the season.
Trying to work him in, crowding him with fastballs. That was a little slider in on the hands. Votto very good going the other way. And those Crawford boxes tempting him out there. I think his game plan coming into a series is let the ball travel, let it get deep, and just think middle away, think left center and left field. So you got to make sure you do your work inside on it.
And There's some good work for a strikeout for Norris at 94 miles per hour. He enjoys a 1-2-3 first. Aaron Harang heads for the hill next. And here's the way it looks on Brad Mills' lineup card tonight. Michael Bourne leads off in center field. He's followed by Jeff Keppinger, the former Red, at second base. Carlos Lee is in left field with Lance Berkman at first base. Hunter Pence plays right field. Jeff Blum has great numbers against Aaron Harang. He's the third baseman. J.R. Tolles, the catcher, is followed by shortstop Tommy Manzella and pitcher Bud Norris. The big right-hander, 6'7" Aaron Harang, will turn 32 on May 9th. 12-34 since 2007. Problems with big flies.
Yeah, he's allowed 6 home runs already this year. Let's look at our Suzuki scouting report on big Aaron Harang. Berkman has got good numbers against him. Jeff Blum has really torn him up, hitting .588. Carlos Lee as well with solid credentials against Harang.
Michael Bourne's hit by a breaking ball, and he takes first base. He is second in the league in steals with 8 in 9 attempts, and he's been running wild on this homestand, 7 for 7 in stolen bases.
Flipped him on the front foot. Yeah, you know, he's been drawing a lot of leadoff walks lately to manufacture runs with his speed. And, so you get the sense that it's not a matter of if, but when he tries to steal a bag here.
Harang takes a look in. Jeff Keppinger's the batter. Keppinger takes that first pitch, and it goes for ball 1 for the big right-hander, who's 0-3 with an 8.31 ERA. Keppinger, a .308 hitter, has a .400 on base average. Takes another one. It's good for strike 1. That evens the count at 1-1. Jeff 3 for 17 on this homestand. Dave Clark has signs. Base runner and a hitter. With Carlos Lee on deck. Reds won the season series from the Astros last year 12-4. They were 5-2 here at Houston. And makes the toss over. There have been 11 stolen bases against Cincinnati in 16 tries this year. Dusty Baker's club starting a road trip which will take them on to St. Louis for a 3-game series over the weekend. Holds the ball a long time. Bourne takes off. Hannigan's throw sails, and it's knocked down off the glove of the shortstop Cabrera into right center field, getting Bourne to third base. Stolen base for Bourne, number 9 of the year, and an error on Hannigan, his third.
You see that a lot with Michael Bourne running because of his speed. A catcher tries to speed himself up, and that will cause you to lower your arm angle a little bit. You get rid of the ball more quickly than you would otherwise, and the ball will sail on you. In his haste, he's just unloading and hoping something good can happen. Looks like he threw a little two-seamer down there. Wasn't able to get the ball probably across all four seams.
Pitch for strike two. Now it's even at 2-2 as Keppinger tries for contact, but the infielder's back except for Votto at first. The Reds will concede this run on a ground ball by Keppinger. Cap by the mound. That'll get it home. Phillips over to Votto. Bourne scoring. The Astros hustle their way to a run without a hit. One out, and it's Carlos Lee coming up. Keppinger getting his 8th RBI. Good two-strike hitting. He took those pitches so Michael could steal, and then he wound up behind in the count 1-2 and still got the run home.
Yeah, so it goes down as an offer, but it's just a good at bat. And that's the sacrifice you make as a two-hole hitter. You take some pitches, allow the guy a chance to steal a base, but he got rewarded with the RBI opportunity.
Strike to Carlos Lee. El Caballo at 162 has no homers, 5 runs batted in. He was 2 for 5 Sunday with a 2-run triple included. Rang hits the corner, and it's 0-2. Right-handed batters are hitting .344 against Harang. Line into right center field. Dave Bruce comes up with it. A single for Carlos Lee on the 0-2 pitch.
Aaron Harang is a guy who, when he is good, pitches upstairs effectively. And he throws that fastball up above the hands, and Carlos able to get on top of it. That's just great hitting. He made the pitch he wanted to make, but Carlos able to get to it. Fox Tracks is brought to you by Gexa Energy. Throughout the night, we'll show you pitch location from time to time, even if we're not second-guessing the umpire.
Lance Berkman has put together a 4-game hitting streak. There's strike one. Berkman, a .261 hitter, has 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. And that home run on Sunday tied him for 5th place on the all-time list of homers by a switch hitter with Reggie Smith. Lance, a .255 career hitter against Harang with 7 homers. 1-1. And one of the articles about Lance and all the great hitting he's done against the Reds in his career, .327 average, 48 homers, 133 runs batted in. Bronson Arroyo said, well, usually a lot of pitchers try to locate that pitch down and away from a hitter, but that's the one he hits hard.
Well, both ballparks in Cincinnati, very good hitters' ballparks. And the Reds haven't had really good pitching over the years. So, I mean, I don't think it has a lot to do with one team having an idea how to attack them versus another. And she's got a real good hitter who's been up against some mediocre pitching.
2-2. And Roy Oswalt, who will pitch in this series, is 23-1 lifetime against the Reds with a 2.58 ERA. Dusty Baker, folks in uniform on that side, very well aware of that stat. Berkman looks at ball 3, and it's a full count to Lance. Harang last year was 6-14 with an ERA of 4.21. He had an appendectomy the 3rd week of August, which ended his season.
Showed that record for him since 07. A lot of losing, but he hasn't pitched that poorly.
They're going foul tip on the strikeout, and a throw out of Carlos Lee at second base, with a double play going from 2-6 to end the 1st inning with 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, nobody left, 1-0 Astros. questions to ask us anything you want to know about the Astros, Major League Baseball, or even something offbeat from JD. Just log on to FoxSportsHouston.com and click the Ask the Announcers icon. We'll answer the best questions on the air, so log on now.
That's right, so if your question doesn't get answered, you asked a bad question.
Strike one to Scott Rowland. Leading off the second inning at 283 with 5 homers, 8 runs batted in, and we have Patty Smith. Patty?
Well, I know a lot of people have been writing in and asking about those white necklaces that all the guys are wearing. So I went down and did a little research on it, and turns out that Jeff Blum actually brought them in from a friend of his in San Clemente, California, and he says that they're used for flexibility, energy, and balance. He says there's a little hologram on them that does all those things. And I was like, come on, Jeff, a hologram? He says, let me tell you what. He said, I had 1 home run the first half of last year. I started wearing the necklace, and since then he's had 9. So he's wearing them. It's a company called EFXUSA.com. You guys can check out those necklaces, guys.
Will it help my golf game?
Well, do you need flexibility, energy, and or balance for that?
Yeah, take a little bit of all of that.
I'm saying it'll shave a few strokes off.
All right, I'm in.
Jay Bruce takes strike one. The Beaumont native at 215 with 3 homers has 8 runs batted in. Sounds like a bunch of guys bought into it. Now we're going to have stats on before the necklaces and after the necklaces.
Hey, if you believe in it.
Yeah.
Power of the mind. It's an amazing thing.
Eric Cooper is the umpire there at third, indicating a ball, and the check swing for Bruce takes it to 1-1. Jay, 23 years old, a first-round pick in 05, the 12th player drafted. Westbrook High School, Beaumont.
Strong young man. He can hit the baseball a long way. Strikeouts have been a big problem. Pitch recognition, I think, an issue for him. Swing wildly at bad breaking balls from time to time. It's still a very young player.
Fouls that one back, and it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Jay, quite a talent, though. Last year he hit 22 homers, drove in 58. He had only 345 at bats with a broken right wrist last year. Hit 21 bombs in his rookie season of 08 and 413 at bats. Fouls that one away, and it's 2-2. Bud Norris can run a pretty high pitch count with his style of pitching. He's made 3 starts, totaling 12 2/3 innings in those 3. He went 2 2/3 in his first start here against the Phillies. He's gone 5 in each of his next 2. Foul ball past Billy Hatcher. Former Astro coaching at first. Still 2-2 to Jay Bruce. Peter Gammons has picked the Cincinnati Reds to be the wild card playoff team in the National League this year. This is the first of 9 games between the two here in Houston. They'll play 6 games in Cincinnati for a total of 15 between these two rivals this year.
Reds have been kind of a popular pick in spring training the last 2 or 3 years as a team that could be on the rise. It's yet to happen. Well, you can understand that thinking. Some talented young players. Some good arms in the rotation.
Rowland takes off. It's ball 4. 2 men on, nobody out for Orlando Cabrera. Well, the Reds have 4 first-round draft choices on this club. Homer Bailey, Jay Bruce, Drew Stubbs, and Mike Leake.
Yeah, I think that's the key, and I think that's the reason why Leake is on this club, is they felt like they had a chance to contend either to win the division or the wild card. Otherwise, I'm guessing Leake is in the minor leagues. But if you feel like you've got a chance to win and you feel like he's one of your best options as a starter, then go ahead and put him on the club.
Orlando Cabrera was hitting second, but now in the number 6 spot to take advantage of his bat. Reds are looking for runs batted in from him batting 6th. There's ball 1. 239 hitting Cabrera, has 2 homers. He's driven in 13. He's in an RBI spot right here with 2 on and nobody out. leads the team and runs batted in. Line drive to right field, charged by Hunter Pence. Stop sign at third for Roland. The bases are loaded with nobody out on a single by Cabrera.
Well, nice job there, taking a fastball down and away and going the other way with it. If he tries to pull that pitch, it might be a double play. It was great off-field hitting there. That was not a bad pitch. Bud looks like he's featuring the four-seam fastball. He's not throwing a lot of sinkers, and I think what happened, he came out of the pen feeling awfully fresh. And when you've got that ball exploding out of your hands at 95 miles an hour, you tend to rely on that. Double play situation, you're trying to get a ground ball, he may start to think a little bit about that two-seamer, trying to get more sink or a little movement and get a ground ball.
Johnny Gomes, 206 with the bases loaded. Has the bases loaded and nobody out. Strike one to Gomes. Gomes last year hit 20 homers for Cincinnati and 281 at bats. Beautiful night. Good sharp slider makes it 0-2 for Bud Norris with Hannigan on deck.
Well, that slider for Bud has been the difference maker so far this year. I think when he's pitched well, the slider's been the key. He's got on top of it and he's had real good late break on it. When he struggled, that pitch has flattened out for him.
Foul away by Gomes, who was drafted by Tampa Bay in 2001. Cincinnati signed him as a free agent prior to last season.
Initially, I was talking double play at the start of this at bat, but now, if you're a strikeout pitcher like Norris, you got no balls and two strikes, you're thinking about punch out here. Just keep the ball out of play. Maybe get the double play off the next guy.
Foul back again.
So I think the play here is identify what you think your strikeout pitch is to Gomes. You take a couple shots, whether it's a slider off the plate or a fastball way up. I don't think you want any kind of a breaking ball in the zone here. And the fastball, I think you want way up.
And he chased it and fouled it.
So he might even go a little upper than that.
Bud Norris from Green Bay, California, hoping to fall into line with an excellent run of starting pitching for the Astros. Astros starting pitchers have collaborated for a 2.83 ERA in the last 11 games.
Going back upstairs.
Strike three. There's the strikeout that everybody on the Houston bench welcomes. It's number 3 of the game for Norris.
Billy Miller showing a little generosity on that outside corner. Need to exploit that.
Tonight's Jack in the Box standings will show you the most strikeouts per 9 innings pitched in the majors this season. Jonathan Sanchez of the Giants is the leader, followed by Bud Norris, then Justin Masterson, Carlos Zambrano, and Charlie Hager.
All that earned Carlos was a demotion to the bullpen.
Ryan Hannigan on a 3-game hitting streak. Has very good numbers to start the season. Has 6 hits in his last 8 at-bats. Hits the slider over Lance Berkman up the right field line. Scoring Roland. Jay Bruce coming to the plate. Hunter Pence with a throw. And the Reds take the lead 2-1 on a 2-run single by Hannigan, giving him 7 hits in his last 9 at-bats now.
Real good hitting by Cabrera, lining the fastball the other way. This time it's a slider, and Hannigan hits it down off the end of the bat. Not a bad swing, but a bit of good fortune there for the Irishman. It wasn't a bad pitch, and right off the end of the bat, soft enough where it was easy to score 2.
Aaron Harang with runners at first and third and 1 out is around a Bud and taking strike 1. Harang has 1 sacrifice this season, 1 hit. In his career, he's an .091 hitter with 1 homer. He's driven in 16.
Straight sacrifice on there. The Reds have options here with first and third. Cabrera kind of read this bunt, and if an opportunity presents itself, essentially try to steal home. Puts a little extra pressure on the defense trying to get that force at second base. That almost becomes impossible in this situation.
Pitch is upstairs. That's the 21st pitch of the inning. 14 have been strikes. Norris beat Kyle Loesch in that win at St. Louis April 15th. Struck out 9 in 5 innings.
That's just not a good effort at all. That bunt. If Dusty was thinking about trying to squeeze with Harang, I think that thought disappeared.
Mark Berry's the coach at third. Dusty Baker's in the last year of his contract to manage this club. Swinging away. Harang misses it by about a foot and strikes out. That's number 4 for Norris.
Well, it's good to see there's still some pitchers in the game with my hitting style. So many good hitting pitchers these days. There's a hack I remember. He clearly has watched my videos.
2 outs now, and it's Stubbs batting.
They're available for $19.99. Order now.
Stubbs was drafted by the Astros, who could not sign him. Now a hot shot to third. Jeff Blum had time to deal with the bobble and get him. And it's 2 runs in the Reds' second inning on 2 hits. They strand 2, and the Reds lead it 2-1. Reds got 2 in the top half. Fences had back-to-back 2-hit games and looks at strike 1 from Harang. 209 for Hutter. And maybe a nice picture-perfect swing coming up. He has 1 homer and 5 runs batted in. He's at 294 in his career against Harang. Who misses there, and it's 1-1. Harang is 9-9 in his career against the Astros. 5-5 at Minute Maid Park. Grounded to second. Brandon Phillips over to Joey Votto. 1 out for Harang. And we join Patty Smith.
Well, be sure to join the Astros May 3rd to the 9th as they kick off Pink in the Park Week to raise awareness and funds for breast cancer research. Purchase a special ticket to the Wine and Cheese Night Saturday, May 8th with a pregame wine event at Union Station. JD, that's wine, not wine with an H. Also, check out the pink cap, T-shirt, and tote bag giveaways on the 7th through the 9th. Buy tickets at Astros.com tonight. Guys?
Thanks, Patty. Here's Jeff Blum. 7-game hitting streak for Jeff and great career numbers against Aaron Harang. He looks at ball 1. 294 for the season for Jeff. He's driven in 3. Against Harang, he's a .588 career hitter with a homer and 3 runs batted in, and that's why he's in the lineup. 1-1. Not quite simply that cut and drive for Brad Mills, but he did find that number to be very attractive. Then he checked out Pedro Feliz's at-bats against Harang for numbers recently. Pretty good off-speed action there, looked like, JD.
Yeah,
1-2.
It's been mostly a fastball slider with a lefty up there, and a lefty that's got good numbers against him. He breaks out a different wrinkle.
Feliz is a 111 career hitter against Harang. Pounds inside and misses.
That would be enough for me, especially, the way Brad Mills has used his bench. I really like what he's done. He's trying to find opportunities for his bench guys to get in there. And of course, when Berkman was hurt, there was a lot of at-bats for these corner guys. But this is a perfect scenario. You got Blummer coming off the bench. When you look at the matchups against this guy, yeah, let's give this guy a start tonight. We'll rest Feliz.
3-2. Brad Mills wanted to look at recent plate appearances for Feliz last couple of years or so against Harang. And he did look at that, made this decision to go with Blum. Soft fly ball hit to right. Jay Bruce is coming in, sliding, and Jay Bruce got there. 2 outs.
He left his feet as if he was going to have to catch the ball out in front of him and then had to reach up over his head.
That would be embarrassing.
Oh, there it is. He almost overslid it.
Brandon Phillips was headed back the other way just in case. If that ball gets by you, you're pretty embarrassed as a right fielder after the sliding technique.
Well, and I think when you've got a potential collision scenario out there in the outfield, too, that's a smart play for one guy to go low and the other guy to stay high. So you don't crack heads.
Ball 1 to J.R. Tolles. 219 average, 1 homer, 6 runs batted in.
And it's not the kind of ball where you can call the second baseman off, because you can't call it until you know you can catch it.
It's 2-1. Harang has been criticized for not pitching inside more to right-handed hitters, and he apparently did that more often the last time out, but had some broken bat hits against him as he came inside, according to the pitching coach Ryan Price. Now it's 3-0. 28 pitches for Harang.
Green light in here. It's a situation where you got a fastball coming for sure. 8-hole hitter on deck. There's 2 outs. You're looking for extra bases. I let Tolles cheat on a fastball there. 3-0. He may have had the green light, just didn't want to swing at it.
That's ball 4. Second walk of the season for JR. And it'll be Tommy Manzella.
People might say, wait a minute, J.R. Tolles, he's hit 219. He doesn't hit a lot of home runs. You want him to have a green light on 3-0? And yeah, you have no problem with that because he's got some pop.
JR runs bases pretty well. Aboard for a 229 hitting Manzella with 3 runs batted in.
Tommy Manzella doesn't have a lot of power, so he might get a base hit here, but he's not likely to get an extra base hit. It's not impossible. I'm just thinking when you, as a manager, when you make these decisions of whether you're going to let people swing or not, you don't base it just on who's in the batter's box, but who's coming up behind him.
Ball 1 to Manzella.
He's thinking, well, if he draws a walk, I'm still going to need probably 2 more hits to score him. You got the 8-hole hitter, then the pitcher.
That evens the count at 1-1. Aaron Harang from San Diego went to San Diego State. He was a 16-game winner in 06 and again in 07. Started with Oakland in the big leagues. He had been drafted by Texas in '99.
He's in the final year of a contract as well. There's a club option for next year, but I think it's like $12 million or more, so not likely that that's going to get picked up unless he really turns things around.
Last time out, a 14-6 loss to the Dodgers. He gave up 6 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. He says that he's had bad luck. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, gave up 186 hits last year in 162 innings at a 4.21 ERA. That's not bad.
It's a long stride that Tommy has, and that'll cause the hands to drag.
Yeah, you'd have to be thinking about going back up there if you're Aaron Harang and Ryan Hannigan when you need to. Upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's that inside fastball you're talking about. I mean, to me, Aaron Harang, after a couple tough years, is fighting for his baseball life a little bit. Not that he wouldn't get a job next year, but he had established himself as a really good major league pitcher, and he's kind of losing that luster. So you got to go into fight mode here. Push people off the plate.
Strike 3. That's his 2nd strikeout. And after 2, it's 2-1 Reds. Was a strikeout victim of Nolan Ryan when Brad was playing for the Montreal Expos that put Ryan into the all-time strikeout lead. And Brad was recounting that strikeout before the game today. He was well aware of this anniversary date. Brandon Phillips takes the slider, ball 1. Phillips hit a fly ball to center field in the 1st inning.
So you think anybody hung a 3,509 over his locker today?
Didn't see that, but he expects to be asked that question every year on this date. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. He said, well, I wasn't sure exactly where he stood as far as when I was at the plate, whether I was going to be the guy to get the record number of strikeouts or not. He said, but I quickly found out. And he said there was a contested call. There's a pitch really close on 2 strikes, and I saw everybody come up on the bench of the Astros, and I figured, okay, I'm the guy. And then he said, I thought for sure he'd come with a fastball for the record, but he threw me a curve and locked me up for strike 3.
Yeah, but that pitcher's outside, too.
3-1. 3,509 at that time. Well, he went on to do 5,714. There's a leadoff walk to Phillips. 2nd walk for Norris. Phillips quite capable of stealing a base.
Bud, came out of the gates just firing pellets and had good command in that first inning, and then wobbled in the second, hit Rolen to get things started before walking Jay Bruce, a guy that doesn't walk that often. So he's going to reset the sights here.
Phillips is 1 for 4 in stealing bases this year. Joey Votto struck out. But Brandon, an accomplished base stealer. He's jumping around there at first and drawing a look from Norris. In Phillips' career, he's been successful 75% of the time. And he's been a member of the 2020 club for homers and steals 3 years in a row now. Votto takes a look at ball 1. Votto, 26 years old, from Toronto, a second-round pick of the Reds in the 2002 draft. Hit .322 last season. Phillips goes diving back into first.
And you see how the Astros are deployed in the outfield. They've got Carlos Lee swung over towards left center. Well, we'll take a look at this pickoff move. Norris has got a good one. He's got a very good one. Quick feet. Quick short arm delivery. There's the outfield. Bunch the outfielders are trying to take away the gaps. Carlos Lee is off the line, just at the edge of that cutout area. Michael Bourne straightaway center field. Hunter Pence pretty much straightaway in right field. So they're giving him room on the left field line, trying to take away that left center alley.
Manzella and Keppinger hope to be able to turn a double play here. Votto let it go. The appeal goes to third base. Eric Cooper with a safe sign. 2 balls and a strike.
I'm not sure what Brandon Phillips was doing. He was actually going back to the bag as Norris made that pitch. A move you might see with a left-hander on the mound, but not a righty. It's almost like he thought Joey Votto was asking for timeout.
And now he's out. Brandon Phillips removed from first base on the throw for out number 1.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think it'll take long for the scouts to get wise to Bud Norris. You've got to be awfully careful over there because he's very quick. And that's just a lazy lead taken by Phillips. See him crossing over, getting tangled up.
Strike to Votto makes it 2-2. The Reds have had some base running misadventures in recent games. Players thrown out on the bases for various reasons. Fouled away. It's been addressed in a clubhouse meeting after the Saturday game by Dusty Baker. In one case, it was a pitcher, Johnny Cueto, who thought the third out of the inning had been made at first base. He was caught between second and third. But in other cases, things like that, pickoffs, the caught stealings.
And we talked about this the other day. I think with bona fide base stealers, and Phillips is one of them, there are times when getting picked off is understandable. You got a good throwing catcher, a guy who's quick to the plate, so you're trying to get a good aggressive lead and jump. But that instance, he's just taking a walking lead off first base. Should never get picked off there.
Ground ball, diving Keppinger, throws from his knees, and there's the scoop by Berkman to Rob Votto. 2 outs.
Keppinger doesn't have the range nor the quickness that Matsui has out there, but he's been fine. He's been solid at second base. More than solid on that play.
2 outs, and it's Scott Rolen who was hit by a pitch. Rolen looks at strike 1. This is the first time Norris has faced Cincinnati in his career. But Bud has an excellent record against the clubs in the Central Division. 5-0 with a 1.18 ERA in 6 starts and 1 relief appearances against the NL Central teams. This will be his 50th pitch. Popped up behind the dish and back out of play.
Scott Rolen's kind of gone into the Wayback Machine here. He's turned the clock back 4 or 5 years the way he started 2010. Really been impressive in the early going. 5 home runs already.
.604 slugging percentage. Deuces wild on Bud Norris's pitching line. It's a 1-2 count to Rolen. Rolen, as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies, hit the first home run in this ballpark in a National League game. The Yankees had been here, an exhibition game prior to the opening. And the slider just off the plate took the count to 2-2.
He's had a very nice career. There was a 2 or 3 year period there where Rolen was one of the best players in the league. What he did offensively, plus playing a spectacular third base. Won a handful of Gold Gloves.
Now 3-2. Rookie of the year '97, Scott Rolen from Jasper, Indiana. Just turned 35 earlier this month. He's closing in on 300 homers. 288 right now for his career. Strikeout. And Bud Norris gets number 5. In the middle of the third inning, the Reds lead the Astros 2-1.
You get a ticket to the game and the festival and a free Los Astros t-shirt. Buy yours today at astros.com/heritage.
Speaking of Budweiser, here's the Bud man. Norris taking ball 1. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI as a sacrifice bunt. Got that RBI in St. Louis with a big hit. And his 5-1 win over the Redbirds. It's a 1-ball-1-strike count. Harang 0-3 in his first 4 starts. An 8.31 ERA, has the lead. Throws in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-2. Harang needs only 2 more strikeouts tonight to tie Paul Derringer for 6th place on the Reds' all-time strikeout list.
The gangster? No. Any relation?
Well, not that I know of. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
One thing Harang has tried to do is to stretch out. He's a big guy, but he doesn't, quote unquote, pitch big. He has a pretty short stride, comes over the top, kind of throws darts. And this offseason, he worked on flexibility to try to get a little longer with his stride.
And strikeout number 3 on Norris.
Trying to become more of a power pitcher. A little longer. Maybe add a little velocity, a little life on the fastball.
Michael Bourne was hit by a pitch, stole second, continued to third on the throwing error by Hannigan, and scored on a ground out. Now, changes may be warranted by Aaron Harang after the season he had last year. This ball 1. He went 1-13 from Memorial Day last year up to the present. Bourne drops a bunt down, and that stays fair on the grass. It's a bunt single for Michael Bourne. Beautiful place. Kept it on that grass, and there's nothing Scott Rowland could do to get him out.
Game on again. Michael Bourne will be looking to run for sure, and this is just perfect. Nobody can make a play on this one.
Club leader in runs, hits, and walks is on again. And Jeff Keppinger, who grounded out to get Bourne home, is the batter. Keppinger takes strike one. During this homestand, the Astros have played 6 games. Bourne has a .519 on base average.
We talked a number of times already this year about Keppinger in the 2-hole being well suited. The ability to hit down in the count, to take some pitches, to allow Michael to steal. Not a bad idea, though, sometimes for that 2-hole hitter to change up, to sit on a fastball, trying to think along with the pitcher who's trying to be quick to home plate and jump on one. You know, if you got Michael Bourne on there and you're worried about him stealing the base as a pitcher, you know, one way to combat it is to throw a fastball and to get ahead in the count.
At 44 pitches for the evening. The Reds have 1 win by a starting pitcher. That belongs to Mike Leake, who starts tomorrow night. One and two. They are 1-7 with a 6.52 ERA as a starting pitching group. 7 of their 8 victories period this year have come in their final at bat. Their first 6 for Dusty Baker's club were won in the final at bat. Strike 3 to Keppinger. That's number 4 for Harang. And he's tied for 6th place on the Reds' all-time strikeout list with Paul Derringer.
A nice job of going in, then out with that fastball. Bill Miller, the home plate umpire, taking a little grief from Keppinger, though, but Miller's been consistent with that outside corner and maybe a little bit beyond call.
Carlos Lee singled to right center field in the first inning. Next up is Jose Rijo on the strikeout list for Harang, 1,251. Lee takes a look at ball 1. Jim Maloney's their all-time leader.
So Mario Soto's got to be on there somewhere.
Yeah, he's second. Joe Nuxall third. Johnny Vandermeer fourth. Rio fifth. Lee taking, and the count goes to 1-1. Astros remain dead last in runs scored in the league, but they've improved quite a bit this homestand. Reds have won 9 of their last 10 from Houston. Throw over the first, chases Bourne back to the bag. Dave Clark with signs for Carlos Lee, Michael Bourne. Astros now are 6-3 in divisional play. The Reds have the opposite record.
Carlos frustrated by those last 2 strike calls as well. He thought the ball, first one was down. I'm assuming he thought this one was down and maybe out a little bit. So I think the hitters are going to have to make an adjustment. It looks like a pretty good strike zone for the pitchers here tonight. Hitters might have to be willing to attack a little earlier in the count.
Bourne's going. Line drive right field. Bourne will keep going. Jay Bruce heaves one toward third base. It's cut off. And Lee is 2 for 2. And Carlos, who got a day off Saturday, has responded. 2 hits on Sunday. Day off yesterday. 2 more hits tonight.
They picked on that high fastball with 2 strikes last time. This time, Lorraine gets a little too much of the plate. Watch Bruce after the throw. See if he stays in our picture. He was frustrated. He thought that ball should have gone through. He thought he had a shot at Michael there at third base.
Bruce has a big-time arm in right field. 2 on for Lance Berkman, who struck out in the first.
But if the throw was on line, there's no reason to cut it, because Carlos wasn't going to advance. He would take an extra base there. As long as there was no mishandle in the infield, it would have been a free shot. I don't think they would have gotten it, but I can understand Bruce's frustration in cutting it. He posted a pretty good throw.
He did. Kept it low. Bourne at third. Hoping Berkman could get him in. Lance takes ball 1. Quite often a pitcher will try to come inside on Lance. Will come inside, but be just a little bit off the plate. Lance knows the inside corner and exactly where it is. He's taken a lot of pitches there to get ahead in the count. Two and 0.
Reds may treat this like a situation where first base were open and just be very cautious with Lance. Kind of early in the game to be thinking along those lines.
There's another close one, but it's in, and it's 3-0. But you're right, he's done so much damage over the years. Why would they not be thinking constantly worst case scenario with Lance?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be careful with him anyway because he's Lance Berkman. But tying run third base. He's got deep 7 times in his career off the line.
Three and 1 to Berkman now.
I'm guessing he's probably hit more home runs off a ring than anybody. 7, that's a big number off one guy.
It is a big number. Strike 2, and the count is full on Berkman now. He's done a lot of watching.
It's interesting. He started the sequence working in, and now he's got 2 corner calls on 2 seam fastballs running away, and you would think he's got him set up to come in, but he's not getting a call in there. So if he goes in there, he's got to be thinking, I'm going to try to jam him and pop him up because if I make my pitch, it's probably out of the zone. Going back out.
And Berkman fouls it. Hunter Pence on deck.
94 miles an hour with a little run, and the work you do inside causes the hitter to be aware of that pitch and maybe just a little bit behind that one running away.
Berkman homered off the ring the last game. They squared off last May against each other in Cincinnati. Orang gets a strikeout on a foul tip. That's strikeout number 5 for him. There's no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. And after 3, it's 2-1 Reds.
And I picked Omar and his son Nicholas here. Nicholas's first ever Major League Baseball game, and we've had 2 foul balls bounce right here. He just missed them. He's working hard trying to get the balls from the crew down here. Not working, so we're going to make it up to you, make you our progressive fan of the games. How are you guys enjoying the game?
We're enjoying it.
Yes.
Having a great time. First game.
First game for Nicholas?
Mm-hmm.
Are you having a good time?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a favorite Astro player?
Yes.
Who is it?
And it's my favorite brother, Alex.
Alex. Well, good. We'll keep our eyes open for Alex, but you guys keep your eyes open for.
Baseball at home.
We're going to give you some more stuff right here, okay? Thank you so much for being our progressive fans of the game.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Yeah, now you know what Art Linkletter was up against.
There's a whole generation.
Yeah, that's about half of our audience to go, who? Google it. We don't have time to explain.
We have an Alex up here in the booth.
Yeah, he's
next
over
door.
there, yeah. Big Alex Trevino fan.
Jay Bruce with a 3-0 count, looking out at Bud Norris. And it's strike one. Bruce walked and scored in the second inning.
I have a feeling he might come out of his shoes right here.
This would be the time. Alex Trevino broadcasting. Jose Cruz. But Bruce instead takes another walk. That's number 3 for Norris. And Cabrera bats next. Cabrera single to right field in the second inning. Cabrera signed late on February 1st. 1-year contract with a mutual option for next year. And the Reds, it would appear, got a nice bargain when they signed him. An experienced shortstop. Pretty good offensive player. Hit 284 last year. Strike one to Cabrera. He's a 275 career hitter. He played for Oakland and Minnesota last year, driving in 77 runs. He's from Colombia. Brother Holbert Cabrera has been a big leaguer for a long time. I don't know if Holbert is in the big leagues at the moment.
I can't help you there. I don't know. I mean, I could help you. I could look it off. I'm not highly motivated. That's okay.
Nothing urgent about that. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Orlando is 35 years old. He has some good baseball left in him. He had a 22-game hitting streak last year. The way he has come out of the gate this season, the Reds are very pleased to have him at shortstop. Close play at first base on Bruce.
Billy Hatcher is going to throw a rope around his base runners down there. And Bruce asking, hey, you sure that's not a balk? Quick move and a perfect throw.
Chad Fairchild's the umpire there. Cabrera pulls off, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Orlando. Houston native Paul Yanish is on the Reds bench tonight. Played a lot of shortstop for them last year. Johnny Gomes is on deck. To left center field, Carlos Lee. Looks like he has room, backpedaling onto the track. 1 out.
Let's take another look at that play at first base. Bruce scrambled to the back corner of the bag to avoid the tag.
Johnny Gomes struck out looking in the second. Another move over this time. Another safe call as Jay Bruce dives back.
Well, those pickoff moves effective on a couple of fronts. One, you've got to shorten the lead when the guy's that quick, and the other one, he's just wearing them out, making them work hard. And those legs a little heavier.
Absolutely. It's a stop by J.R. Tolles. Ball 1 on Gomes. It takes a physical toll on a base runner to go back diving in like that several times in a game. And then the thought has been implanted in him, especially when that tag by Berkman comes on the forearm and he's not sure he's safe or out. Don't stray too far. Now Berkman has to reach out.
And now he's shortened up that lead to the point where he can get back just a couple of steps. So if you've pretty much shut him down, And you want to start to focus your attention more on the guy at home plate than the guy on first base.
2 balls, no strikes.
Of course, his pickoff move is a weapon. He's got 1 out tonight already. He's probably thinking, I'll just pick him off. He doesn't have a bat in his hands. He's far less dangerous than the guy at home plate.
Oh, that's a quality pitch. 2-1 to Gomes. Mets beat the Dodgers today 4-0 behind Johan Santana. He's 3-1. Jason Bay hit his first home run. Michael Bourne waits in center. 2 outs. Ryan Hannigan comes up. Ramon Hernandez is the veteran who does most of the catching, but Hannigan came in for 251 at bats last year. He led all catchers in the National League in fielding percentage. He made 72 starts. Native of Washington, D.C. to Rollins College. Signed as an undrafted free agent at 2002 by the Reds.
Is that in Tampa? Rollins College? Somewhere in Florida.
Yeah, it's in Florida somewhere. Not sure about probably in the Tampa area. Strike 1 to Hannigan. He's known as a good receiver. He hit his first major league homer off the Astros in 08 at Cincinnati, and then he had a game-winning homer also that year here at Houston in the 8th inning. Bruce attracts a throw with a pitcher harangue on deck in a 2-1 game. Bouncer in the hole at shortstop. Glove by Manzella. Straightens up and fires to Berkman, who stretches and gets the out at first. Good play to end the top of the 4th inning with no runs, no hits, and a runner stranded. It's 2-1 Reds. Fourth is approaching. This date in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. On this date in 1983, April 27th, Nolan Ryan became the all-time leader in strikeouts with career K number 3,509. His victim, Brad Mills, then of the Montreal Expos. Hunter Pence leads it off, trailing 2-1. The Astros battle 4th, and there's strike 1.
You know, Brad Mills only struck out 3 times that entire season.
Really?
He only had 20. It's a more interesting story if I don't tell you that fact.
He said they had a pool on that strikeout in the Montreal clubhouse. Grounded out earlier. Swings at the breaking pitch. 0-2. Would it be Gary Carter? Would it be one of the other mainstays? Well, he was not involved in the pool because nobody knew he'd be hitting as a pinch hitter in that game against Nolan Ryan. So
I love the sense of humor in the baseball club.
Yeah, nobody won any money on it.
Just gonna let's bet on which one of us punches out to make history tonight.
Slide to second base. Phillips. Go out number 1 for Harang. And it'll be Jeff Blum next. He worked the count full. And then Jay Bruce came in for a sliding catch on his humpback liner in the second inning. Blummer's a .277 career hitter against this Reds club. Dodgers and Mets tied 3-3 in the 5th inning in game 2 of that doubleheader. Charlie Hager going for Los Angeles. Comes in for strike 1.
He's a knuckleballer.
Yes, he is. San Diego leads at Florida 3-1. They're in the middle of the 7th inning. Johnson had quite a game.
Struck out 12, complete game.
Yes. Had 3 hits and drove in 3 runs.
Did he really?
That's a pretty good complete game. Nice all-around ball game. We're going to select a few pitchers who have done a combination of all those things in the last 50 years.
That's Ruthian.
It really is. J.R. Richard did it back in the mid-70s.
Cody Webster probably did it.
Yeah, pretty good chance he did. He was legendary. It's 1-2. Astros surviving with a .281 team on base average. They've turned it around, winning 8 of their last 10 after going 0-8. And that's the best ever stretch of any major league team that started 0-8, winning 8 of the next 10. 2-2. Did that. Bunker left side, and there's Jeff Blum going by Cabrera into left field. He didn't try to pull that pitch and hit it hard the other way to give him an 8-game hitting streak.
That's a rarity right there. Jeff Blum hitting the ball on the ground to the opposite field. You almost never see this. They're playing him strong full. Cabrera shaded towards second base. Pretty good hole. He was able to exploit it.
Necklace power.
Right, it's a balance.
Now 4 for 7 on this homestand.
Balance, you're just a pull hitter. You're one way.
J.R. Tolles worked a walk in the second inning. Manzela's on deck. And strike 1 for Harang. Harang and Bronson Arroyo, veterans in this Reds rotation. Arroyo's 33, so he and Harang were really counted upon to provide the leadership for the pitching staff as the Reds approach this year. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count, and they have another 22-year-old lefty, Aroldis Chapman of Cuba, in the minor leagues, knocking on the door. So other than Harang and Arroyo, a very young flavor to this starting rotation.
In terms of stuff, with Bailey and Cueto and Chapman, when he gets here, they'll have some great arms.
Yes, they will.
Volquez is on the disabled list, also serving a suspension, but it's being served at the same time as he's on the DL, so I don't think he's going to miss any time due to the suspension.
Right now, Harang is 0-3, and Arroyo's 0-2 with a 7.43 ERA. So these two guys are falling short of the objective as far as the Reds are concerned. Line to Phillips. Blum gets back to first, 2 outs. Almost looked like they had a shot at doubling him off.
Yeah, I'm surprised Phillips didn't throw the ball. I guess maybe he didn't have an angle. He was afraid he was going to hit Blum in the back with the throw.
might have been it. Been in that throwing lane. Let's go to Greg Lucas. Greg.
As Manzella comes to play, quick note that, again, we're doing fan mail tonight. And what we're doing, it's a little bit different. Some of your letters are being held back, and we're going to be using them with Brownie and JD on the pregame tomorrow. Those of them that take a little longer explanation. Others that I'm answering, and I'm letting you know it's being forwarded upstairs, and they'll talk about them tomorrow. Also tomorrow, live chat again. So tomorrow we'll do live chat. And you can do the fan mail at any time, 24 hours a day, and we'll take a look at all of them, and we'll send them upstairs, and we'll let everyone hear what some of the answers are. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Greg. 1-0 to Manzella. Tommy looks at that one. 2 balls, no strikes with Bud Norris on deck. And Harang's at 70 pitches for the night. For the first 3 innings, only 5 of 13 first pitch strikes for Harang.
Cheat on one here, Tommy.
He could. Pitching lines.
It's your first major league home run. On that one.
3-0. Tommy has not walked this season. Well aware of that. Harang gets another baseball.
Harang walked J.R. Toles back in the second, but generally Harang around the plate. I think there's some folks that think that's the reason why he's been hit pretty hard the last couple of years. Maybe a little too consistent, too much in the strike zone, willing to give in too often.
3-1 to Manzella.
I think his MO when he's good is to be pretty aggressive for strike 1 and then expand the zone. If you're throwing ball 1 and he feels like he has to come in and starts to throw the ball over the fat part of the plate, that's when he gets into trouble. Opposed to some of a guy like Roger Clemens, even when he was behind 1-0, 2-0, he rarely gave in. He was still trying to hit a corner.
3-2, 2 outs. Blum ready to go at first, not being held on by Votto. The way Harang has been zipping that fastball by Manzella. We'll look for another one here. All the way. Minnesota's getting shutout pitching from Francisco Liriano at Detroit with a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. Twins are 13-6. Going, little bouncer. Harang over. Bare hands drops it. And now Bud Norris comes to the plate with runners at first and second. It's ruled an infield single for Manzella.
Take him any way you can get him. Little tapper out in front of home plate. I think he had time to glove this ball and decided to try to barehand it and pay the price.
Hit number 5 for the Astros. They've all been singles. That one an infield hit. Michael Bourne a bunt single. Bud Norris struck out in the 3rd inning. A chance to have another impact hit the way he did at St. Louis.
He'll be hacking.
Strike to Bud.
There's one right there, Bud.
Liriano for the Twins has given up 3 hits in 7 innings with 9 strikeouts against Justin Verlander of Detroit. Down to the second. Phillips on to first to end the 4th inning with no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Through 4, it's 2-1 Reds. brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, by AT&T, by Chevy, by Brake Check, and by Gullo Toyota and Gullo Ford, who bring you the 5th inning. Patty Smith has found a real star in the stands tonight. Patty?
Well, I absolutely found a star. Melissa Gilbert from Little House on the Prairie, of course, one of the just favorite shows of all time. Sitting here watching a game with the whole crew from your production that's going on. I'm not going to take your thunder. Tell us what you're doing in town and about your show.
We're doing Little House on the Prairie, the musical, at the Hobby Center. We open tomorrow and run 2 weeks, and the whole cast is here. And our conductor is here. We are actually the P-Dogs. Right with P-Dogs rule!
And we can't forget about Garen here. He's just so cute, so I got to just give a little shout out to Garen. But and the interesting part about this role for you is you're not playing little Laura Ingalls anymore.
Oh, can you imagine how silly and sad that would be at my age? I'm almost 46 years old. No, I'm playing Ma, actually. And the young lady who's playing Laura is not with us, but we've got one of the cast members here who plays Nellie, and the other ensemble members, and my son Michael plays Willie. And it's great fun. The show's been on tour now for 6 months. We're here 2 weeks, then we go to Dallas for 2 weeks. And the tour ends in June. We will have been on the road for almost a year.
And how much of a difference is it doing it on the stage like that as it was when you were doing it as a kid?
Oh, it's night and day. You know, it's great to have a chance to do the show in front of a live audience. I always love being on stage anyway, but to do it as a musical is really an extraordinary experience. I keep telling people it's like going home, but someone rearranged the furniture.
Awesome, and I know that you're out here watching the Astros, but you are a big baseball fan. I mean, you wanted to come to this game.
We wanted to come to this game. Everybody in the show are baseball fans, and today was our day off. Michael and I are from Los Angeles, so we're
Michael, you're off the air.
And I'm I'm an Angels fan, but you know what? We're really enjoying this game, and the Astros are great right now. This has been really fun, and we're just really glad we got a chance to come out on this is our 1 day off in the 2 weeks we're here.
Well, awesome. Well, hopefully, once again, it starts tomorrow night. Hobby Center runs for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So get on to Hobby Center, catch the show. It should be awesome, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for finding me.
All right, absolutely, guys.
Thanks, Patty. Now, a single by Harang, a walk to Stubbs. Had Bud Norris turning his back on home plate before facing Phillips. And Lance Berkman comes over with a score 2-1 Reds in the 5th. Bud, 77 pitches into the game, has retired Phillips on a fly ball and has walked him. Here are tonight's league leaders, brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the major league teams with the longest active streak of allowing 5 or less runs in a game. The Giants have a streak of 9 games. The Astros have 8, and the Cubs with 7, and Washington with 6.
Pretty much explains the Astros' turnaround. The hitting has improved, but most of the pitching has led the way.
Phillips looks at a strike.
How about that? Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Maybe John Boy will be here someday.
He might.
Get him on.
It's a 1-1 strike count to 28-year-old Brandon Phillips of Raleigh, North Carolina. Phillips went to high school in the Atlanta area, where the Astros will be this weekend. Stone Mountain, Georgia. Ever been to Stone Mountain?
I have. Very nice.
With what?
State Park.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Phillips was the Reds MVP last season, having in 98 runs.
Good low fastball hitter. Count here where you can probably go a couple of ways. He's an aggressive hitter in an RBI situation, so he's going to be looking to swing the bat. A slider down and away, or a fastball up, maybe in a little bit.
He was ready for it. Hit it deep to center field. Michael Bourne backing, and he has it. Runners scramble back to their bases. The throw comes into third. And out number 1.
I think ideally you'd like to have gotten that ball up a little bit. Phillips is a good low ball hitter. Showed a pretty quick bat there, getting to that inside heater.
He did. That's one big out for Bud Norris. Now here's another. Joey Votto coming up.
Actually trying to go away, and the fastball runs over the inner part of the plate. But it's down. He's got that little loop in his swing that allows him to get to that low ball and inflict some damage up above the hands. You can't do much with it.
Votto with a strikeout and a grounder. Keppinger robbing him to Berkman, who dug it out. Joey was a really tough out last year. He was strike one. He was 4th in the league in on base average and 5th in slugging percentage. Scott Rowland on deck. Votto takes that one.
So that means he's going to be making a lot of money here in the foreseeable future.
That's true.
Ryan Howard just signed a deal paying him $25 million a year. Votto doesn't hit the ball out of the ballpark, but those other numbers, very impressive.
You don't think Albert Pujols' agent went cha-ching when he saw that?
Bobby Cox was asked about it, and he said, well, Pujols should make $50 million a year.
Oh, nice.
He said, because Albert's twice as good as anybody in the game. What do you think they're thinking in St. Louis?
2 balls and a strike. Votto started to go. The appeal goes to third, and Eric Cooper ruled a swing on that. And it's 2-2. That's a big call for Bud Norris here. Votto hit .345 against the Astros last year with 2 homers, 9 runs batted in. Rang the pitcher on at second. Stubbs on at first. 1 out in the inning. Foul by Votto.
Had to put the leadoff man on base in every inning except for the first. So Bud doing a lot of work from that stretch position. Using 91 pitches per start up to 86 now. Yeah, just with his style of pitching, that power game, a lot of foul balls, a lot of deep counts. It'll be tough for him to work deep into games.
Warm-up action in the Astros bullpen as the count runs to 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Fulcino has been pattern with Bud Norris, who's gone 2 2/3, 5 and 5 innings in his first 3 starts. He's at 87 pitches right now and really laboring here against the number 3 hitter, needing a big pitch. He gets it. 2 outs, and it's Scott Rowland now. 6 strikeouts for Bud.
Well, he just finished off a tough hitter. He does it with a slider. He's out in front a little bit, pulling off the pitch.
Rowland was hit by a pitch and scored. Then he struck out looking. Rocks one to right field. Hunter Pence backing on it, looking at the wall. Now on the warning track, he has it. Bud Norris with the scare, but it's no runs a hit. 2 men stranded after 4.5. 2-1 Reds. Bud Norris, who got 3 important outs there after Rang had singled and Stubbs had walked JD. They went to work, got Phillips, Votto, and rolling.
Yeah, you know, it just, again, it's a function of his style of pitching where he's going to push the pitch count up there. If there's much you can do about it. Maybe start to work in a little more off-speed stuff, try to fool some hitters earlier in counts. But, you know, with a young pitcher like that, I don't think you want to tinker too much. He's having a fair bit of success, and he is. He's throwing the ball well. We would like to be able to get another inning or so out of him. But a young pitcher, first year in the league, first full year, you get 5 quality innings most nights, you're usually pretty happy with that.
Bourne started the bat and was called for swinging by Eric Cooper.
I think I would be tempted to run Brad Mills. I'm going to run him out there for one more.
Curious call there.
Usually the replay shows that the umpire is vindicated, but not that time.
He rolls it into right field. And Bourne with a 2-strike hit. Reaching for the 3rd straight time in this game.
So annoyed with Michael Bourne. Came into this game thinking, I just want to keep this guy off the bases. I don't want to have to deal with him over there threatening to steal all the time. Leadoff guys, they can really get in your head.
Well, Bourne stole second in the first, continued on a throwing error to third base, and then scored on a Keppinger bounce out. Then Keppinger struck out looking in the third after Michael had bunted his way on.
Keppinger took that first pitch fastball right down Broadway last time in this situation. See if he changes it up here.
Michael's going. Fly ball. And caught by Stubbs in center field. He did go for the first pitch, and it's out number 1.
I think they're playing a little hit and run instead of a straight steal. It looked like they put a hit and run play on because Bourne is running on his own. I'm guessing that Keppinger leaves that pitch alone as a breaking pitch off the plate. Maybe that one looked like a hit and run.
Sure did. Keppinger retired. Now it's Carlos Lee, who's 2 for 2.
Which tells me that they're getting some pretty good release times on Harang, that they feel like he might be a little tougher to run on than maybe they anticipated.
He's big, but he does use the slide step. Lee is single to right center, and his second hit went to right field.
Magic number is 1.2 seconds for a pitcher delivering the ball home. Slower than that, a guy like Bourne will feel like he can get the bag.
Lance Berkman's on deck. It's 0-2. Lee's a .382 career hitter against Harang. 1 homer, 8 runs batted in. Baltimore got 2 in the 6th to lead the Yankees 3-2 after 6 now. Jorge Posada hit his 5th for the Yanks. It's 1-2. Astros have 6 hits. They've all been singles. The last 10 games, the Astros have hit .262 as a team. 46 runs in those 10 games. Lee fouls it back. Chris Welch almost made the catch next door in the Reds television booth.
Chris sporting the bow tie tonight. It's Bow Tie Tuesday on Reds television. Kind of looks like the Orville Redenbacher over there.
He really does. It's an interesting tradition they've started.
Irving R. Levine.
Hope he doesn't come to bat against Nolan Ryan.
He can because he's already got his bow tie.
Carlos Lee strikes out. That's number 6. He took some fastballs earlier in the count. Now this swing.
Ryan taking a little bit off that breaking pitch. Showing the ability to change speeds with his slider. And really fooled Carlos there.
AT&T Trivia is coming our way with Lance Berkman stepping up. He struck out both times tonight. We're the only 3 NL switch hitters to record 50 doubles or more in a season. NL switch hitters.
Well, you got to figure Lance as a candidate for that. So he's coming up to bat when we ask the question.
How about somebody like Willie McGee?
McGee, yeah. That's Willie McGee.
Like Ozzie Smith for that?
Nah, 50 doubles is big. You know, it was a big doubles guy. He was switching on Pedro.
Yeah, he might be one. Ted Simmons wouldn't have had that many in the season. Ball 1 to Berkman. Lance has seen a lot of pitches tonight. The count has been full both times he's batted. Rang's thrown 87 pitches.
Chipper Jones, but 50 is such a.
Yeah, I don't think Chipper's done that. 50's a huge
Yeah,
number.
because he hits the ball out of the ballpark so much. How about Pete Rose?
Yeah. I think he was in the 40s. I don't know if he ever made 50. Got it going. Throw from Hannigan. Out at second. Cabrera with a tag on board. And that ends the Astros 5th. With no runs a hit, nobody left. Hannigan throws out his 3rd base runner of the season. And the Reds cling to a 2-1 lead through 5. Coors Light Freeze Cam. That's a quick throw to first base, and look at the tag by Lance Berkman with a pickoff for Bud Norris. Brandon Phillips back in the 3rd inning. The Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light. Now Bud Norris does come out for the 6th inning, trailing 2-1, and it's Jay Bruce who has walked both times. Taking ball 1. Ray Buchholz has a good one going tonight for Boston, that beleaguered Red Sox pitching staff. He leads it 2-1, bottom of the 8th at Toronto. 2 balls, no strikes.
Bud has a tendency to drop his arm a little bit, and his fastball will move a lot east to west, but he'll lose sometimes.
Lined into right field.
It's a man swing right there.
Yes, it is.
Let's take a look back at Michael Bourne and Cox Fielding there in the last inning. Very close at second base.
Riley is the crew chief.
Nose right in there. I guess the question is, did the foot get the bag before the tag got the back of the leg there? From that look right there, it looked like he was in there, but it's hard to tell exactly when he gets to the base. No, I think that's another thing. I don't know if clubs do it or not, but I would want to know an umpire's tendencies out there, because so many of those plays, those tag plays, are bang bang. And, I'm wondering if there's statistics available that say, 80% of steals at second base, so and so is likely to call him out.
I hadn't thought about that.
If you really wanted to break it down, you could study video of umpires' tendencies. We get a feel for the umpires in the strike zone. And a lot of times, I know when I played, we had an idea of what guys were good behind the plate and what guys were good or bad on the bases. And some were horrible on the bases, but they were good plate umpires, and vice versa.
Miller has the plate tonight. There goes. A hit through the left side. And he keeps churning to third. Bruce is ahead of that throw from Carlos Lee. It's first and third, nobody out, on the single by Cabrera, his second hit of the night.
Now Bruce running with the pitch, an aggressive turn at second base, putting himself in harm's way a little bit there, but able to beat it. You don't want to make that first out at third base. But, that's in business again. So, runner moving. Manzella goes to cover the bag. Wide open hole.
With that development, Jeff Fulcino is up and throwing in the bullpen again. Johnny Gomes, the batter. He is struck out looking and lined to center field. Manzella set up for a double play, and he rips a line drive to left to make it 3-1 Reds. RBI single, Johnny Gomes. His 11th run batted in. 3 straight hits for the Reds here in the 6th.
And none of them cheap. All well struck. This is a slider. And we're talking to see how that ball backs up, if anything. And that's that arm dropping down a little bit. And it's just kind of getting out of sync mechanically, or a little bit of fatigue. But when the arm drops, the pitches really flatten out, become much more hittable.
And Brad Mills is out, with Fulcino warming in the bullpen in this 3-1 game. That's it for Bud Norris, going 5 innings plus. We'll be right back with the score, 3-1 Reds.
Following This Week in Baseball on Fox Channel 26 here in Houston. Astros and the Braves from Turner Field in Atlanta.
Sounds like a plan. Jeff Fulcino comes in. And runners at first and second.
Verizon call to the bullpen. Big Jeff Fulcino. Pull a rabbit out of his hat here. Shut down this Reds lineup.
Well, he inherits 2 base runners with nobody out, trailing 3-1, facing Hannigan. Hannigan drove in a pair with a single to right field in the second, and he got to short. And it's ball 1. Fulcino worked in the 10-3 win over Pittsburgh Sunday. with one hitless inning. 7 games, those are his numbers.
He gave up 4 in a third of an inning, his second appearance of the year against the Giants. Other than that, he's been awfully good. He gave up 1 run in another appearance. That ERA just because of that 1 outing, essentially.
1-1. He worked in that Florida series on Thursday, an inning and a third with no hits, no runs. So his last few outings been good for him. He inherited a couple of runners in Chicago and gave up a 3-run homer to Derek Lee, and that he was charged with 1. By and large, the Astro pen has done a nice job on inherited runners, inheriting 22 and allowing 6 to score for the year. And that bullpen, in the last 14 innings, has given up 1 run. As usually is the case, the inherited runners are the key. Foul ball.
I can't reach it.
2-2. Jeff Fulcino.
And it's very difficult with that when you look at inherited runners, because if you don't know exactly what the scenario is when the pitcher comes into the game, it's, if you come in bases loaded, nobody out, versus first and second and 2 out, and it's a completely different animal.
Bullpen at one point had a string of 22 consecutive outs. Line up the right field line, slicing foul. Still 2-2 to Hannigan.
Winter Park, Florida, by the way.
Winter Park
is where Rollins College is.
Okay. It's actually in the Orlando area, right?
Yeah, I've actually been by there. Went up to the Winter Park Art Festival one year in spring training. Nice. Up in that area. That's just a random thought floating through my brain here.
Fulcino delivers. It's ball 3 with Aaron Harang on deck, and a full count now on Hannigan. Harang looking pretty good with a 3-1 lead. The Reds are trying to get him more working room.
Be tempted to start the base runners here if I were Dusty Baker. With my pitcher coming up next, I want to stay out of the double play here. And trust Hannigan to put the ball in play off Fulcino. Not moving.
Looping line drive hit to right center field, picked up by Bourne. Cabrera around third. It's 4-1. And the RBI single by Hannigan. A big night for him. 3 runs batted in. That's 4 straight Reds hits here in the 6th.
And we came into this game and in the pregame talking about Joey Votto, how he was the guy you had to be so cautious with in this lineup. And tonight, Votto's 0 for 3 with a couple of punch-outs, so he hasn't been a problem. It's been that guy right there, Hannigan.
Harang single to open the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2. Runners at first and third. Nobody out. Blum charging as the bunt goes his way. He gets it over to Keppinger on the sacrifice. Harang moves Hannigan to second. Now number 1. AT&T Trivia asked the question about the 50 doubles or more by switch hitters. Only 3 have done it in the National League. Pedro, you mentioned, and Pete Rose did make it 51, 1978.
We mentioned all those guys.
You got it.
We mentioned a couple more, but we mentioned all those. So that's an A. That's an A plus maybe.
All right, where are we going on summer vacation now? We got an answer.
Costa Rica.
Okay. Now the infielders come in, and it's Stubbs batting. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. That's deep enough as Michael Bourne is in center field for the tag at third base, and Gomes is coming home, and the Reds have a 5-1 lead. Sacrifice fly for Stubbs. RBI number 7 for him.
Good execution by Stubbs. Second, third situation where a sac fly gets the job done. No sense waiting around. If you get a pitch you can handle and elevate, go for it.
Bud Norris in 5 innings allows 6 hits, 5 earned runs, walking 4, fanning 6. Brandon Phillips is 0 for 2 with a walk. And it's ball one. Washington leads the Cubs 2-1 after 6 at Chicago tonight. Norris threw 98 pitches, 57 were strikes. It's 1-1. Tampa Bay with a 14-5 record leads Oakland 8-6 after 8. Phillips fouls it. It's 1-2.
Hey, our thoughts and prayers go out to Bob Uecker. Uecker scheduled for heart surgery on Friday. I don't know exactly what's going on with Uecker, but surgery on Friday. He's expected to be out of action for 2 or 3 months.
What a great guy. Yeah, we hope he comes through that with flying colors. He is so much fun to be around. Very jovial. And also to Jackie Moore, former Astros coach, now Texas Rangers coach, back in Houston. His daughter passing away. Otto Hamilton, Bob Uecker among those. And Marty Brennaman here tonight, too. Typecaster swinging the Hall of Fame. Now slowly to Tommy Manzella. And he throws out Phillips. The Reds tack on 3 in the 6th inning on 4 consecutive hits. They leave a man on, and they lead it 5-1.
Welcome back. 5-1 Cincinnati, and with the You Pick 'em 6-game flex plan, you can pick the 6 home games you want to attend and the seat locations. Plans start at only $42. Also check out our all-you-can-eat Hunter's Lodge, Division Rivals, and Price Matter Days 6-game plans. Visit Astros.com tonight to purchase your plan, guys.
Thanks, Patty. It's Lance Berkman, bottom of the 6th inning, with the Astros trailing 5-1 against Aaron Harang. Lance has 2 strikeouts tonight. At the plate when Michael Bourne was thrown out trying to steal in the last inning.
The 2 guys we profiled, Votto and Berkman, have really struggled.
Never fails.
Jinx.
Fly ball over third, going toward foul territory. It's a fair ball, though, and it kicks up into the seats. That's a looping opposite field double for Berkman, his 2nd double of the year, and that takes his hitting streak to 5 games.
Jinx removed. That's what the doctor ordered. A little 2-out or a no-out double to get things started. A little blooper. 5-1 ball game. Astros have plenty of time. Got to cash in on these opportunities, though.
Yeah. That is the first extra base hit for the Astros tonight. Hit number 7 overall. Hunter Pence twice has grounded to Brandon Phillips at second. strike one. Orang has thrown 92 pitches. Jeff Blum is on deck. Nice stop by Hannigan. He really got down low. Closed the trap door. 1-1. A catcher who can do those things is really, really valuable. Jim Burdak warming up for Houston now. It is expected that there are a lot of catchers who don't do it very well. Cap back to Orang. He checks Berkman. Goes out Pence. 1 out. Now Blum, who singled in the 4th, a ground ball through the left side after hitting a looping fly ball caught by sliding Jay Bruce in the 2nd inning. Frustrating night for Hunter Pence, who's grounded out 3 times. J.R. Tolles on deck. Zach Greinke, who's winless so far for Kansas City, is shutting out Seattle 2-0, bottom of the 6th at Kansas City. Strike to Blum. Berkman takes a look, goes to third base. Jay Bruce returns it to the infield on a single by Blum. He hit that one on the screws. 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
Yeah, he hit it too hard.
Yeah.
As quickly as it got out there with Jay Bruce's arm, no chance whatsoever to score Berkman. Pretty swing though. He's got an outstanding throwing arm. Not challenged there.
Now they're stirring in the Reds bullpen. They have a pitcher warming up. Votto holding Blum. Number 8 for Houston. 5-1 Reds with J.R. Tolles lined to second in the 4th after walking in the 2nd. Trying to keep this rally going. Manzela's on deck. Gets a strike call. Mike Lincoln and Daniel Ray Herrera, right-hander and a lefty, are warming up for the Reds. Astros 266 with men in scoring position. It's 0-2. They are up against it now. Nearing the century mark. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Orang was the opening day starter for the 5th time for Cincinnati. Reds placing a lot of faith in him, bringing him back on opening day after an off year. Herrera and Lincoln are really to provide support. Fouled away. Aaron went 7 innings in his 2nd start of the year against the Cubs. Allowing 3 earned runs, got a no decision there. Reds have lost all 4 of his starts to date.
Well, coming up the year he had last year and bringing an 8.31 ERA into this game, I was kind of expecting to see a guy whose stuff was a little bit down compared to past seasons. That's not been the case. His fastball has been good. He's the kind of guy in the past we've seen be very successful, working at about 88 to 90, 91 because he has a little sneakiness to his fastball. But tonight on the gun here, we've seen him at 95 on occasion.
Line to center, Stubbs over, makes the grab. Berkman's tagging and coming. The throw goes back into second, and it's 5-2. Tolles with a sacrifice fly, hit it well, but into and out. And the Reds will make that trade. Manzella coming up next.
I think both those clubs will take that trade. There's still plenty of time Especially with JR starting 0-2 in the count, to battle back the way he did and get that run home down at the bottom of the order here. That's an important run. Couldn't afford to let that leadoff double die out there.
Tommy Manzella chopped one for an infield hit in the fourth. He struck out looking in the second. The Reds bullpen has a 5.14 ERA.
It's like if you're playing golf and both guys have about a 3-footer. Good? Yeah, okay. They're both good. Reds happy to get the out. Astros will trade that out for a run as well.
Jason Michaels on deck. The pitcher spot due up next. There's ball one.
Hey, ready for the Kentucky Derby here soon.
Oh, yes, Saturday. 2 balls and no strikes. We were in Atlanta last year on Derby Day.
Were we really?
Yeah, how about that?
It's a tradition like no other.
Broken bat. Phillips with the grab. Manzella made a bid, but it's 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left, and after 6, it's 5-2 Reds.
The Astros with some work to do as Tim Burdack warms it up. Kevin Eschenfelder and Art Howe, we want to tell you to remind you to join us after the game for Astros Live. Maybe important, I guess for time will tell, but to get a run back there in that 6th inning.
Yeah, I thought it was very important. Lead off double, you got to cash in at least 1 run. Cut into the lead a little bit. Now get into that bullpen. I think that'll be it for Harang and try to cash in against that bullpen now.
All right, Bill, be sure and join us after the game. We'll be here, of course, from Brad Mills. Head back to the clubhouse. All that and more coming up after the game on Astros Live. Right now, let's go back to Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies, guys.
We have a question, too, for Art, Kevin, so hold him right there as Tim Burdack comes in with a 1-0 record, a 3.68 ERA. Lefty on lefty with Joey Votto. Votto is 0 for 3. Just speaking, Art, to the decisions that a manager has to make, not only during the game, but leading up to the game. And, for instance, Jeff Blum in the starting lineup today, and he had compelling numbers, so Brad Mills really considered that very strongly and put Blum in the starting lineup. But there are so many decisions a manager has to make. Can you speak to that? Just the lineup, where they hit, all the different things you have to decide as a skipper.
Yeah, people don't realize how much goes into just making out the lineup every night. There's statistics on everything, matchups throughout the league, historically, and you try to get the best opportunity for your club to win and get the best lineup out there. And at the same time, Brad's trying to keep everybody in the mix and keep things going. This homestand, everything's worked well, and obviously putting Blum in there has helped tonight.
Was there a number of at bats a guy had to have against a certain pitcher before you believed the numbers?
Yeah, Yeah, I'm more in like the 20 at bat mark. It doesn't lie if guys are getting, 10 for 20 is pretty good numbers. You get pretty excited about that. But the thing you don't know or see is the line drive outs. Some guys might be 1 for 12 off of somebody, and he's hit 6 line drive outs. So in your mind, you're thinking, oh, man, he doesn't hit this guy at all. And in reality, he hits him very well.
Did you ever, as a player, have to make that case to a manager, or as a manager have a player come to you say, Artie, I know I'm 2 for 14 against this guy, but I've lined out like 7 times. Did anybody ever come and kind of try to sell that?
Yeah, off and on I've had that happen, and I said, okay, I'll give you a look and we'll see.
You got more times than not, they lie. To prove yourself. Yeah.
But don't come back to me if it doesn't work out. Thanks, Art. Look forward to the post-game show. Scott Rowland with a 1. But that speaks to the interpersonal relationships there on a ball club with a manager and his players and his coaching staff. And sometimes you're influenced by personality, by a player really battling to be in there in a certain situation.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the most difficult things for a manager is to be able to, a guy that you personally really like, and he's going through a slump, saying he comes in, you're trying to give him a day off, and he lobbies to be in the lineup. Sometimes you say, no, it's our best chance to win tonight is with you over here sitting on the bench.
2-2 for Burdack. Rowland with lefty hitting Jay Bruce coming up next. Well, as for Brad, he said also the same thing Art did. There's no magical number of at-bats on a statistic involving a matchup like that, a pitcher versus hitter. Rowland's down on strikes.
Yeah, I think, I already mentioned 20. I tend to think, you get around 15, 20 at-bats. That's a fairly good body of evidence, especially if somebody's like, 10 or 11 for 20. I mean, that is pretty compelling. And there's also statistics and analysis out there that will tell you what a hitter is against a finesse pitcher versus a power pitcher versus a guy, a guy that throws sinkers versus 4-seamers. I mean, you can break it down in a lot of different ways.
Ball one to Jay Bruce, who's been on all 3 times tonight. Bruce hit 4 homers last year against the Astros. Drove in 10. Pops it up. Jeff Keppinger moving in. Handles it for the 3rd out. In the middle of the 7th inning, the Reds lead it 5-2. About all the decisions a manager makes. Dusty Baker just made a decision to pull Aaron Meringue from this game. He waited until Kazuo Matsui came up and was announced as the pinch hitter for the pitcher Tim Burdack. So we made the Astros declare their move first, and that's something you often see during the course of a season. We were somewhat surprised to see Orang out there, but sometimes the manager figures he's not going to pitch the starter anymore. He just wants the other man. Go or less than that with 1 inning to go, and of course the closer has to finish the game to get a save, but also he could be coming in with men on base at another point, and the potential tying run would be on deck. That could be a save.
Or if he came in after there were an out in the inning and wasn't going to pitch the full inning, as long as if the tying run is on deck, and that becomes a safe situation. But if he's starting the inning fresh, he's got a 3-run lead in the 9th. That is a safe situation.
And Ray Herrera throws ball 1. He features a screwball, which can help him really upset the timing and show a different look to right-handed batters. That's a pitch that not too often thrown these days. And so he's hitting .262 in his career as a pinch hitter.
As a matter of fact, he's probably equally effective, maybe even more so against right-handed. I haven't looked at his numbers this year. But typically guys with an outstanding changeup or some kind of a trick pitch, a great squeegee like this guy has, are better against opposite-handed hitters.
And Sui takes that pitch. And it's 1-2 for Caswell, who's hitting .138 with 4 hits and 29 at bats. So as a pinch hitter, he's 1 for 1. Right-handed hitters are 1 for 14. An .071 average. Lefty's .375. And Sui's hitting for Tim Burdack, who in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs, with no walks, 1 strikeout. Jeff Fulcino in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs, with no walks or strikeouts. Michael Bourne is on deck. Roll to shortstop. Cabrera.
With those numbers down, Caswell should have batted left-handed.
Exactly.
He should have stayed and hit left-handed, taking away his screwball.
Well, you don't see that often, but the numbers would support that. Yes. There were times when Pete Rose hit left-handed against left-hander Randy Jones.
Carl Everett did it against Steve Avery.
Yeah.
And Avery was pitching for the Reds.
Michael Bourne been on all 3 times. Hit by pitch, bunt single, single to right. And it's ball 1. So
this is the guy we went up to.
Yeah. Lefty on lefty. Those numbers are good. It's up to the player to make the numbers look good. It's 1-1. Herrera, 25 years old. He's from Odessa, Texas. Went to Permian High School there. Lives in the Austin area. And he went to the University of New Mexico. He was in 70 games last year for the Reds, working 61 innings. Max effort guys. 1-2.
Well, you talk about presenting a different look to the hitter. You went from 6'7" over the top fastballer Harang to 5'7", screwball throwing Herrera.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing 5'7" out there. I don't know how tall he is.
Listed at 5'7". 2-2. The Texans draft a kick returner who's 5'5". 6 on that graphic. That's fun to see little guys succeed in sports. Ordinary sized person tends to really root for the little guy in sports. He may not be little, but compared to the way pitchers are these days, the average height, guy who's 5'7", certainly is noticed. Bourne lays off, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Goes behind the mound to rub up the ball, and you lose sight of him.
Herrera was traded by Texas to the Reds in December of 07. Josh Hamilton traded. Strike 3, and Bourne cannot believe that call from Bill Miller. He is really disgusted at that. 2 outs.
Well, let's see what Fox Tracks has to say. This is a slider. Number 7, knee high on the corner. And Billy Miller's had a pretty big zone all night long anyway, so it looked like a pretty good pitch.
Jeff Keppinger bats. He's 0 for 3 with an RBI. Ball 1 to Keppinger. First time Keppinger's batted without anybody on base. So Bourne was thrown out trying to steal in the 5th inning. One hopper to short. Cabrera, a hard hit ball, takes it to first. In the 7th inning, the Astros are retired in order. It's 5-2 Reds. Now, here's our Energy Insight, brought to you by Centerpoint Energy and Mr. Insight himself, Jim DeShays.
Look at this deep analysis for you, folks. We're going to show you the pitching lines. Bud Norris, 5 innings, 6 hits, ended up allowing 5 earned runs, struck out 6. So the power pitch, the strikeout pitch for him again tonight. Aaron Harang allowed 8 hits, a couple earned runs, 6 innings, punched out 6, in position to pick up a win. Took a chunk out of that 8.31 ERA he brought into this game. And now Sammy Hervasio off the disabled list back here with the Astros. Did a little rehab stint with Round Rock. He worked twice before getting hurt. And it's showtime.
He showed those Reds guys the baseball before working to Cabrera. And there's ball 1. Cabrera has 2 hits tonight. He has scored a run. Goins and Hannigan follow in the Reds' 8th inning. Sammy, after those 2 appearances against the Giants, that first series of the season, placed on the DL, right shoulder posterior strain, and he got a rest. Was in some rehab outings for Round Rock. First time back tonight, and he's fallen behind 2-0. Now it's 3 balls, no strikes.
JR motion with his hands and slow down. Looks a little amped up tonight. First time out there in a while.
And 3 rehab outings for Round Rock. Give up 1 earned run in 3 innings. Pitched to scoreless inning Friday for the Express. There's a strike. 3-1. Sammy, a very important man in the bullpen scheme of things, especially with Alberto Arias now out for the season for the Astros. There's ball 4. Cabrera walking. It's the 5th walk of the night for Astros pitchers. Let's check out the reaction from the Cincinnati bench.
It looks to me like he's got the ball a little closer to his head now. Before he's extended it out a little bit. He must have made an adjustment down there around the house.
Johnny Gomes had the RBI single in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. Whacks 1 foul for strike 1.
I can just hear Bert hooting. Sammy, darnation you doing that for?
Bert has a way of getting right to the point of things.
Why you want to show it to him? You want to hide it from him, don't you?
Bert kind of makes a pitcher defend his position on things. Runs inside, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, I think that's a great question for any coach to ask. Why? Why are you doing whatever it is? Workout routine, your mechanics on the mound, your approach to the game. Why is it? Not that you constantly second guess, but you want players to have a reason for everything you do.
Trickle to third, charged by Blum. He takes the out at first. And Gomes with Cabrera moving into second base. 1 out. Now Ryan Hannigan, what a big factor he's been tonight with 3 runs batted in, going 2 for 3. 1 out, 2-run single, jumped on the first pitch in the 2nd inning, then grounded out in the 4th. It took a good play there by Manzella to get him, and he went to right center for the RBI single on a 3-2 count in the 6th.
He's hitting .483 now. Born cheating a step or 2 towards right center field. He's got a big gap in left center. Vassio does most of his work away, and Hannigan looks like he's trying to shoot it that way. So the outfield deployment makes sense. Bunch that right center gap. And if you hang one and he yanks it into the gap in left center, then I guess you deserve it. Lance Nix is on deck to pinch hit.
Pitcher spot due up next. Herrera's in the game now. Runner takes off for third, and he'll make it ahead of that throw from J.R. Tolles. And Cabrera started to take off with a flying jump, then he paused, then he took off again, and he gets a steal.
Yeah, he times it, and he jumped, and he realized he'd gone too soon, but Hervasio never saw him. Had he not hesitated initially, he could have stolen it standing up. It's pretty amazing. After the stopping, he managed to restart and go ahead. I think most guys would just shut it down. Now we got a balk.
That's a big run, 6-2.
I didn't even see it. I was watching the replay.
Vasio's looking in, asking about what he did on the balk call. Asking Bill Miller, the home plate umpire, about that balk, and he's just balked in run number 6 for the Reds.
glove. He had the ball in his glove, and he took it into his. He was already on the rubber, and he took the ball out of his glove. So I guess the rule book. That's a balk. That's the baseball stipulates rules.
That's a walk. 2 walks and a balk in the inning. A stolen base. And now Lance Nix. Brad Arnsberg, the pitching coach, heads for the mound. It'll be Nix pinch hitting for Herrera.
He just looked out of sorts from the get-go here tonight. And again, just his first time just coming out the DL and a little amped up, and I think the focus is not there for him. Brad Arnsberg's trying to right the ship.
Nix, a left-handed hitting outfielder, formerly with the Texas Rangers, takes his practice swings with Stubbs on deck. Blasio steps back off the mound. Herrera in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs. He had no walks, and he struck out 1. Nix, the compact outfielder, is a 152 career pinch hitter with 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. Made 2 starts, both in left field. Strike 1 to Nix. The second straight year, Lance Nix has made an opening day roster as a non-roster invitee to spring training. He taps it to second. Keppinger gets the force play to Manzello on Hannigan, 2 outs. Nix aboard, and it's Stubbs batting next. Keppinger, the speed of his base runners, he knew he had time to get that play at second. Slow hopping ball. Stubbs with the sac fly in the 6th inning. Drove in 1 of the 3 runs in that frame. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Drew now 25 years old.
Tonight we're going to see the youngster Leak pitch for Cincinnati. The kid who came out of Arizona State last year, had never pitched in the minor leagues. And there's a lot of focus, of course, on Steven Strasburg, the crown jewel of last year's draft, first pick in the country. He's pitching a double-A for the Washington Nationals. He threw 5 no-hit innings tonight in his 4th start.
Oh boy.
The only base runner he allowed on a strikeout pass ball.
Wow. 1-1. The interesting thing, reading some recent articles about this crop of young pitchers with the Aroldis Chapman in the Reds organization at AAA, among them as well, is the innings that they would be allowed to pitch this year. And Mike Rizzo, the GM of the Nationals, said, I'm just not one who feels that a pitcher can come straight from college without any professional experience and step right into a major league club. But obviously the Reds are different in their handling of Mike Leake. And Mike Leake, everything we've heard, has a lot of command of his pitches. Very polished. Arvasio with Stubbs. It's 1 run on no hits and a man left. Middle of the 8th inning, 6-2 Reds.
TV, baseball, everywhere. Also, All-Star voting has started on Astros.com, so vote your favorite Astro, guys.
Thanks, Patty. Lance Nix stays in left field for the Reds. And their third pitcher of the night, as Nix positions himself in left, is Nick Massa, the right-hander, formerly with the Chicago White Sox, Texas Rangers. He's 2-1 with a very high ERA of 12.38.
Working for the 10th time already this year. He was their busiest reliever last year, 74 appearances for Cincinnati in 2009.
We'll face Carlos Lee, who's 2 for 3 to open the home 8th inning. Then Berkman, then Pence.
And that's what 8 innings, 14 hits, 11 runs, a couple of long ones. He's punched out 13.
Carlos chases, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
So we're talking about Steven Strasburg last half. He's 3-0 now with an ERA of 0.52. He struck out 23 and walked 3 through 17 in the third innings.
Good. Dominating double A's.
Making it look easy.
1-2. And Aroldis Chapman, the 22-year-old lefty from Cuba, for the Reds AAA Indianapolis club in 3 starts. He's 1-1. His ERA is 0.60. He's walked 10 in 15 innings. Struck out 18. So command apparently an issue with him. 2-2, and he's scheduled to pitch again tomorrow night. But the Reds sank $30 million into his contract. So they obviously feel that he could help them pretty quickly.
Surprised a lot of people when the Reds won that sweepstakes.
Yes, it did. Strikeout, that's out number 1 as Lee whiffs. The Coors Light Cold Hard Blast will take you back to Lance Berkman. And he hit the Crawford boxes in the second inning on Sunday. Charlie Morton. That was home run number 314, tying him with Reggie Smith. Number 5 in the all-time home run list by a switch hitter.
The Astros continued the pummeling of the Pittsburgh Pirates, who came limping into town, having been thumped by the Brewers. Left here and got thumped by the Brewers yesterday, 17-3.
Yeah.
So in a 4-game stretch against Milwaukee, 53-4 they were outscored.
Ooh.
And they haven't won in Milwaukee now in 22 games. Right now, it's 3-2 Milwaukee after 8. So for the top of the 9th, we are all Pittsburghers right now. We are all Pittsburghers.
Here's an update. The Pirates have just scored. Tie that game 3-3 in the top of the 9th.
Let's go Bucks.
We'll be keeping you abreast on that game pitch by pitch now.
That's my password for that MLB TV account.
Let's see.
Check it out.
Okay. Don't you hate that when you forget your passwords? It really complicates the issue. You have to remember all these different passwords. I think some people really have about 50 different passwords.
If they do, then they're way smarter than me.
Wow. 1-2. That pitch had some action.
Well, that's 90 mile an hour, whatever, something crazy. Split finger pitch, just dive bombing. And then you saw the 95 four-seamer. Yeah, it's a split finger pitch. You can see he starts it in his glove. That's the grip he begins with. He'll come off of it if he wants to throw the fastball.
2-2 to Burke.
And, just to finish the point on the Strasburg kid, he also drove in the only run in that game tonight.
Oh.
So the natural is alive and well. It's not Roy Hobbs, folks. It's Steven Strasburg is the name.
Really? Berkman strikes out. 2 strikeouts from Massive. Doing some wicked stuff.
Yeah, he's tough. That's the hat trick for Lance tonight. He does have a double, scored a run back in the 6th, but 3 strikeouts swinging. Check swing call. He's been run up on a few of those last couple of games.
Brian Moeller for the Astros. Arthur Rhodes for the Reds warming up. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3, 3 groundouts. Bassett delivers ball 1. At one point in these articles about these young pitchers, Strasburg and Chapman and Leake, is how many innings are you going to allow them to throw this year through the management of those teams? That's really going to be interesting.
And I guess it depends on if they're high stress innings, and I think that's part of the reason why they keep some of these kids out of the big leagues. They feel like they can compete here and probably do just fine. But it's a more stressful situation. You might put a little more pressure on that arm. When you come to the big leagues, it's not about development anymore. It's about winning. In the minor leagues, you can yank a kid regardless of the score and the situation. You said, okay, that's enough. We're going to get you out. You really don't want to have to manage that way in the big leagues. Where's the Pittsburghers?
Tied that ball game, and might have done that against Trevor Hoffman. We'll have to check.
Leak, after they signed him, they sent him to the instructional league in the fall, but they didn't let him throw. They just said, we're just going to bring you in and work out, be around some of the guys, kind of see what the life is like.
3-2. Bassett rips it by Pence at 95 upstairs. He is it's hard to believe this guy has an ERA of 12.38 the way he's throwing tonight.
He's one of the better pitchers in the league with an ERA above 12 at this point. I say that with conviction.
Popped up. Handing it over. And in the 8th inning, the Astros go down quietly with Bassett throwing bullets. Moving to the 9th at 6-2 Reds.
Miami. No, I'm sorry. That's Jackie Gleason. Have a question you want to ask Brownie or me? Here's how you do it. Log on to foxsportshouston.com. Click the Ask the Announcers icon and submit your question. We'll go through all the emails tomorrow morning. Brownie and I will answer some of them on tomorrow's pregame show. So log on now and send us your questions.
Just another point on that save. A pitcher could pitch the final 3 innings of a game and get a save no matter what the score was.
All right.
Brian Moeller has no decisions, an ERA of 4.05 in 4 games. His last outing was Thursday against Florida with 2 hitless innings for Brian. He hadn't pitched in 9 days, and he came in and threw a lot of strikes in that game.
And that's his game. He's a painter out there. He's Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. This is Brandon Phillips. Phillips is 0 for 3 with a walk.
I'm just going to put a little cut fastball on the corner here. And then maybe we'll put a little sinker down here around the knees.
Strike 1 to Brandon Phillips with Joey Votto on deck. Trevor Hoffman did give up the tying home run by Manny Cedeno in the 9th inning.
Wow, Manny Cedeno.
Yep. And the Pirates had been 0 for 10 in that game with runners in scoring position going to the 9th inning. Crazy, this game of baseball. Sammy Hervasio in 1 inning, no hits, 1 run. He walked 2 and fanned 1. 1-2 for Brian Moeller. Votto on deck. Reds have been out hit by the Astros 8-7. Down to the shortstop Manzella. One out in the ninth inning. Moeller, pitcher number 5 to work tonight. And tomorrow night, it's game 2 of this 3-game series. It'll be Mike Leake, who's 1-0, and Felipe Paulino, who's 0-2. Thursday night, Bronson Arroyo draws Roy Oswalt.
You're tempted to call tomorrow's game if this one doesn't change dramatically here in the bottom of the ninth.
Joey Votto into right center field.
So you're tempted to call tomorrow's game the rubber game of the 3-game series because you could just assume that Roy's going to win. That's not fair to Roy or the Reds, but he's 23-1 against them?
Yes.
Crazy like that?
23-1. 958 winning percentage. Just back from Ware, Mississippi, where he bulldozed his parents' home. There wasn't much left of it, but they're going to rebuild on that same spot after the tornado leveled it. And miraculously, his mother was all right. She was in the house at the time. Scott Rowland takes strike one, and she was in a corner of the house that had been newly constructed, we heard. And his father's Bible was in another room and wound up at her feet in the room where she was.
How about that?
There was not even a raindrop on it. One ball, one strike. There was just devastation all around that neighborhood. Very difficult time for the people in Choctaw County, Mississippi. But that bulldozer that Drayton McClain gave Roy for beating the Cardinals in Game 6 of the NLCS in 05 is coming in for a lot of use right now.
I saw Roy on the nightly news.
Really? Yeah, that would have been fun to see. 2 balls and a strike. Roy said that episode will have absolutely nothing to do with his pitching Thursday night. He will not have that weighing on his mind.
Yeah, baseball players are pretty good at compartmentalizing. Putting that over here in this part of the brain, going about your business.
Fly ball. Rowland hits it to Hunter Pence in right field for the second out. Francisco Cordero, the closer for the Reds, is warming up. That's out number 2. And as of right now, if he came in, he would not have a save situation.
And that's the other thing for the viewer that wrote in. He may know this, but since we're talking saves, you cannot pitch your way into a safe situation either. You can't come into a 4-run game, give up a run or 2, and all of a sudden it becomes a safe situation.
Yeah, I can see why a viewer might wonder about that, because it seems like a lot of guys try to do it. Jay Bruce has walked twice and singled. He's 1 for 2. There's ball 1. Seattle got 3 in the top of the 8th and now leads Kansas City 3-2. So Zach Greinke, who had the 2-0 lead, was in pretty good position on his way to what would have been his first win of the year. Now that's gone for him. That's very good movement for Brian Moeller to the corner. And a 1-1 count. Mets are pummeling the Dodgers 10-5. Los Angeles batting top of the 9th inning.
And the Astros bullpen in pretty good shape. They've been pitching well. The starters, for the most part, have been pitching enough innings to provide the proper rest for the pen. So even though Brian's the 5th Astro pitcher to work in this game, the previous 3 relievers haven't really worked all that hard. Horacio threw the most pitches. He threw 18. Paulino going tomorrow. Sometimes he runs into it where he's up against a pitch count early in the game. He should have a pretty well rested pen coming off that off day yesterday.
And Lyons out there with Sampson. Winston. Hey, that was a wonderful golf tournament yesterday. The Tommy Bahama Island Cowboy Classic out at the Woodlands.
Yeah, they do it right.
Brandon Lyon played in that. Bouncer up the middle, on through into center field. And Bruce, as the runner goes first to third, will go into second base and make it there. Well, Jay Bruce is on for the 4th time And he continues on to second base on the throw to third by Bourne on Votto.
Walked his first 2 times and singled in the 6th. Another base hit here. Good night for Jay Bruce. Probably has a pretty good cheering section here tonight. Probably should have thrown that ball into second base, but probably not that meaningful. Oh, look at the Buccos breaking it open.
5 spot in the 9th. Cabrera takes strike 1. He's been on 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. Holmes is able to stop that pitch, and that's 1-1. Blum tolls Manzella do up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Joey Votto holding there at third on that pitch in the dirt by Moeller. Brad Mills' club came into this game with 7 wins in the last 8 games, having won 3 series in a row. Now the Reds lead it by 4 in the 9th. It's 2 balls and a strike.
And the Mets threatening to sweep a doubleheader from the Dodgers, beat them in game 1, 4-0. Beating them 10-5. Top of the 9th in the nightcap.
Line drive, Hunter Pence in right. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Bottom of the 9th is coming with the Reds leading the Astros 6-2. Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers on the 2010 F-150, by the Progressive Insurance Group, and by Southwest Airlines. Here in downtown Houston, where the Astros are 5-1 on this homestand, they have run into Aaron Harang and a good relief corps so far. Herrera with a hitless inning, Massett with a hitless inning with 2 strikeouts. Now Francisco Cordero, the Reds closer, comes in. He's 7 of 8 in saves with a 1-1 record at 2.79 ERA. Not a safe situation for him here with a 4-run lead and 1 inning to go.
Cordero, he's got nasty stuff, hard thrower, good slider, splitter. He probably hasn't worked too much lately. The Reds having won just 3 of their last 11. So even though it's not a safe situation, Dusty Baker wants to make sure he stays sharp.
Came in on Sunday against San Diego and did get a save in that 5-4 win. But yeah, they haven't been winning a whole lot lately. They've lost 7 of 10. He's pitched 3 times, the 20th, 22nd, 25th since the 17th. Not a lot of work for Cordero. Blum moves 2 for 3, takes a strike, leaving the count at 1-1. Cubs are batting in the bottom of the 9th, trailing Washington 3-1. Matt Capps in the game. It's 1-2 to Blum. 5 for 9 on this homestand, trying to light the fuse here with J.R. Tolles on deck. Manzella due up third. It's high for ball 2. We talk about it quite often, a closer coming in for work, and this is a close enough situation that obviously he's going to be bearing down, but Octavio Dotel brought up that point the other day. Sometimes the focus is just not there.
And I think, too, that the hitters are not as jumpy. I think in a one-run situation with an elite closer on the mound, sometimes the hitters get a little jumpy and get out of their game a little bit and drop their bad pitches.
Swings through it, strikes out. Astros have not had a base runner since 1 out in the 6th inning. 9 straight retired by Reds pitching. Cordero moves on to J.R. Tolles next. Tolles with that sac fly in the 6th inning made it 5-2. Earlier lined to second and he walked. Francisco Liriano is 3-0 with a 0.93 ERA for Minnesota, shutting out Detroit tonight 2-0. A save from John Roush, number 7.
It's 23 consecutive scoreless innings for Liriano now. He's made it all the way back from injury.
Yes.
I mean, that is huge for the Minnesota Twins. I mean, I think they were hopeful he would come back and be an effective pitcher, but they got to be giddy over this.
Done quite well despite losing their closer Joe Nathan. They're 14-6. 2 balls and a strike. Baltimore topped the Yankees 5-4. The Orioles now 4-16. Getting David Robertson. Line drive, loops over third base, up the left field line. J.R. Tolles makes the turn to second. And J.R. has double number 3 of the season. That ends the streak of 9 straight Astros retired by the Reds.
Yeah, at the end of the year, if you look at the spray chart on J.R. Tolles, you're going to see a lot of his hits going to left field.
Lance Nix over to field it. 9 hits for the Astros, 2 of them doubles. Manzella has an infield hit in 3 trips. Corey Sullivan's on deck with a pitcher spot due up. Strike 1. It's St. Louis 5, Atlanta 4. The Braves batting top of the 9th inning. It's 1-1. Colorado's pounding Arizona 12-0 after 6 at Coors Field.
The last thing you want to have happen if you're Dusty Baker is bring Cordero in here to get him an inning of work in a non-save situation and have the Astros rough him up and make him work hard and throw 20-some pitches. And that's, what Dusty's, I'm sure, concerned about right now. And that's why I'm sure Brad Mills and Sean Berry and everybody in that Astros dugout and said, hey, let's give him a finish. Battle, have good at bats, make this guy work. For a couple of reasons. One, we'll get a look at him, and that bat you have off him tonight may pay off later on in the series. You get to see his stuff a little bit, and we'll force him to throw a lot of pitches and reduce his effectiveness tomorrow if he comes in.
1-2 Manzella battles.
Larry Durford, his philosophy was when he came down on that decision with his relief pitchers, the argument between staying sharp and rest. He tended to come down on the side of rest, especially for his closer. You give him an extra day. He didn't need to use him. He didn't want to use him.
Fly ball center field. Stubbs. There's a tag by Tolles. 2 outs. Tolles to third base. And it's Corey Sullivan now pinch hitting for Brian Moeller. Moeller in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, no runs, had no walks, no strikeouts. Sullivan trying to keep the Astros alive here with Michael Bourne on deck. Comes up with a 111 batting average. He's 2 for 18 with 2 runs batted in. 221 is his career pinch hit average this season. 1 for 10, 2 runs batted in pinch hitting. And he fouls it for strike 1.
You got that at 95. The message board here in the ballpark had it at 99.
He does look pretty crisp. He's been involved in every Reds win. He has 1 win and 7 saves. And his club's 8 wins this year. 4 balls, 2 strikes. Cordero began his career with Detroit. Then he was traded to Texas, Milwaukee. The appeal goes to third. A swing is called by Eric Cooper. That's the ball game with Cordero getting the final 3 outs. For the Astros, no runs a hit, no errors and a man left. Final score is the Reds 6 and the Astros 2. We'll be right back. Two 9 0 7.